Hi everyone. I'm Beth, the one that's always behind the camera and with the greenhouse, and started this flying by the seed of my plants. And this is for anyone that wants to learn how to do different things. And a lot of things I just try out for the first time. Um, the greenhouse, this was my first year, and everything did really well in it except the Brussels sprouts and broccoli because I think it needed more light. So, anyhow, I wanted to actually show my face instead of always being behind the camera. Um, but today I'm going to do some winter sowing, and things that I picked out to do first, of course, is the milkweed, parsley. They need the cold stratification. Um, those you can actually plant direct sow outside if you know exactly where you want them in the fall, and they'll do a natural cold stratification. And the reason why I choose to do it this way is where I put my milkweed, it's in ground, it's not in a raised bed. It's off to the one side, and I just want to make sure um, when they come up, I know it's milkweed and not a weed. And I'm just afraid of pulling out the wrong thing when they start growing. So I already started ahead of time some things. I did use the drill, and of course I couldn't find my drill bits, so I used a pointy screw and put holes in the bottom, and you put several holes, and I also put holes in the top because you want water to get in, and you also want it to drain real well. Um, these I bought at Drug Mart, and they're the deep dish casserole dish or lasagna dish. Um, and another thing is the milk jug. And this one is the more clear, where you can actually see your finger when you hold it up like that. And you want to use something like that. Costco's that I go to, they have the solid white. You don't want to use those because you want the sun to be able to get in there. And the lid, you just toss the lid. You don't need the lid. And you want to cut it so that you get a hinge. And you can open it, close it, and then we're going to use tape to hold it shut through the winter. And so one I already got prepared. I'll show you here. It was one of the deep dish, and all the dirt in here. Right now I'm using Happy Frog dirt, and you want to use a regular potting soil. You don't want to use seed starter. You don't want to use garden soil. You want to use a potting soil mix. And so I went ahead and filled the one. And once you fill it up, you want to, get it all wet. So I took it over the sink. I have one of those sprayer hoses on my sink, and I got it saturated until I could see the water coming out the bottom. And then you also want to put the holes in the top, and you want to do plenty of holes, top and bottom, for drainage. And then you're going to start putting your seeds in. So let me flip this around. And it's nice to meet everybody, and I'm really glad you guys all joined. Um, any input you guys want to do, anything that you grow, or if you are going to try out winter sowing, go ahead and show what you did, or what you're doing, if you have better ideas as far as containers. The other container I got was these, which I bought at Drug Mart, and I got to find my drill bits because it's a little more heavy duty, which I'm going to poke holes in the bottom and in the top. And I'm going to do the milkweed. I'm going to do different flowers. Parsley, that needs a stratification, a cold stratification. And that's just where the seed, in order for it to germinate, has to go through a cold spell. So milkweed, definitely. Parsley, yes. Lavender, that's another one. And the reason for winter sowing, number one, you could save a lot of money. You don't need a greenhouse. You don't need grow lights. You can actually start tomatoes. In fact, you've probably already seen how winter stratification or winter sowing works in your own garden. If you planted tomatoes, and Abby has to go outside. Go on, go potty. All right, maybe not. She just wants attention. Okay, so, you'll grow tomatoes. Abby, that's enough. And the seeds will fall, and the next summer you'll notice different tomato plants coming up, and that's a part of winter sowing, and Mother Nature did that. The only thing is you don't know what tomato's going to come up. So at least with this you can mark it. I'm getting her a treat. Here you go. So the other thing you're going to need is markers. The Sharpie will last for so long, but then the sun will take away what you wrote on there. So they do suggest using a paint marker, which I guess you could buy at Walmart or Michael's, and put it on a gardening stick, popsicle stick, to make sure you mark. I mean, you might think you'll remember unless you're only doing one seed and that's it. But if you're doing several different seeds, you might forget what's growing. So it's a good idea to do that. So I am going to try some other things, some flowers, zinnias. I'm going to try the snapdragon, calendula, a coneflower, the sweet William flower, the rudbeckia, cherry brandy. There's cosmos. And I think in the milk jug, I'm going to go ahead and do a tomato. Just to let you know how that goes, and we'll watch how that goes. Peppers, I know I said earlier you could do peppers, but the more I thought about it, it probably would not work in our area. Because peppers, I start indoors. I will be starting in February. Because you want at least an 8 to 10 week head start on those. And especially hot peppers, they take longer to germinate. The tomatoes, I'm going to start indoors probably in April. So they're ready by May 31st. But anyhow, okay, so I'm going to do that, and I want to show you what happens when you take it outside and something to watch for. So, all right, we'll start with the milkweed. Okay, so I have this all ready, and I'm going to start out with the one. This is from the milkweed I had from last year. So I am just going to spread them in there. Let's set this stuff in. Oops. Okay, those are the seeds from last year. And I'm just going to take them and spread them in there. Okay, so it looks like that. And then I'm going to add a little more dirt on top. And I'll tell you, when I started doing my seed, starting most everything from seed, was most of my gardening, I always bought plants, and it's getting more and more expensive every year. So when I lost my job at Chase, I'm like, oh, shoot, I still want to plant. So I had some friends give me those clamp lights, and I bought a couple of grow lights, and that's when I first started. The first thing I ever started from seed was marigolds, and they grew. They were beautiful, and, well, that was the beginning. And it hasn't stopped since. So, okay, I'm going to take this over to the sink, and I'm going to put you down here. And I also have it on a tray, so the mess stays, hopefully, where it belongs. Right now I'm just watering it really good. Make sure all the seeds are under. And we're supposed to be getting some snow, so that's a good thing for winter sowing. All right, so then taking the lid, which I did put holes in, and if you want to make them bigger, you can put little slits. That on top. And because we do have, some wind with our winter storms, I am going to add a little bit of tape. And I am going to write on this milkweed. I'm going to get a painter's pen and do markers too. I just don't have one right now. I'm just using a Sharpie. And I know that's going to come off. Let me see. The only thing I didn't bring out was, hang on a second. All right, I'm going to have to put a marker in there later. But I am going to put tape on it. This is packaging tape. You can use duct tape. But I just want to make sure the lid doesn't blow off. And now, if we don't have any rain or snow, you want to keep an eye on it, because you might have to water it. One way of watching is the condensation, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. Okay, so I got the tape on, and it's pretty heavy from all the water. So I water the dirt, put the holes in the bottom, water the dirt really well, then the seeds, and then I put another layer of dirt, and then I put the water on top again. And make sure you have the drainage holes on top and on the bottom, and that's it. Once you put your seeds in. If you're using something that needs a little more root room, you could space them a little bit more. I just sprinkle them all in there. This is my third year doing the winter sowing with milkweed, and the first year was awesome. The second year was not so good. But, you learn from your mistakes. So I am going to take this outside and show you what happens when it hits the cold. Watch out. Okay. There's my garden bed out here. And it's going to start getting that condensation. And that's when you know it has a good amount of moisture in there. And through the winter, as you're watching it, like I said, if we don't have a lot of snow or rain, you might have to water it. If you see the condensation in there, it probably has enough water and you're doing good. So right now that's the first one done, and I'm going to be doing more. And hopefully, you know, that was enough to get you started. But the main thing is you want to use a clear container lid. And plenty of drainage holes. And this will have, I'm going to put the tomato plant in here. Not sure which one I'm going to do yet. You know, so that the snow and water can get in there. And you just basically leave it out there. And come spring, when it starts getting nice and we have warmer days, and Abby, you can take the lids off then. But of course, if it gets cold again, you want to put the lid back on. So just this, because you don't want it to, and they're going to germinate when they're ready. So they know when they want to germinate. Mother Nature is very smart when it comes to that. So, you know, if you do it, you're probably going to be, I mean, I know I do. I keep checking on them. But I don't look at them probably until like February, March. And I'll be starting indoors my pepper plants pretty soon. And I'm going to show you my setup with all that. I'm going to start some more lettuce indoors. Trying to think what else. I think that's it for right. Oh, and onions and, well, anyhow, I'll keep you up to date on all of that. But all right, well, I'm so glad you guys are all here, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was a good video. If not, tell me. If you're going to try it, please let me know. And like I said, if you discover different containers that you think might work better, I know a lot of winter sowers, you know, say the milk jug is the best, you know. So anyhow, I hope you try it. And if you do, let me know how it's going. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.